Hey guys, Rich Rod is saying his backfield is a little bit bare, but the wide receiver room has depth and has some studs that can run. Also, is Pat Mack coming back to WVU and bringing along game day? I don't know. We'll talk about it. So stick around, guys. Hoping we'll have a good one. I know we will. So stay tuned.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head, constantly thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase the bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. No way now, I'll give up everything. I don't take on. If I can see my dreams, I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go, don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. All I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail. I'll give up everything, daunting life. If I can see my dream, make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything, make what I want a reality. Oh, wait now, I'll give up everything, daunting life. If I can see my dreams, make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything, make what I want a reality. Don't let go, don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything, make what I want a reality.
Welcome to Thursday night. It's West Virginia Mountaineers live call-in show here at the Voice of College Football. Hey guys, I can't be more excited to be here. I got a new flag. Wait, right here, right over there. I got a new flag. Went down to Cliggs Kites. They sell flags down in Myrtle Beach. Been around since, oh my gosh, since my parents would go down there in the 80s. Before Barefoot Landing, there's Cliggs Kites, and that's where I got that big, awesome flag. It's like stitched. Man, I'm so tickled with that. It's little things as Mountaineer fans that get us all geeked up. And if you're not geeked up about the season starting, then you don't have blue and gold blood in your veins. Let's go to the chat before we get into it. Hi, Afton. How you doing? Well, Afton's coming to us from Kansas. She's a Kansas State fan. And you don't have to be a Mountaineer fan to feel good about college football. So, guys, Rich Rod, we all know him. We all love him. He was named one of, I'm totally going off my, I have a little call sheet I write down. I totally always go off my out of order because I just feel it. You know, I just feel, let's just play it by ear. Rich Rod was named one of the top 25 coaches. And of the past 25 years. Okay. I think they had picked him at number 2022. And I think that's accurate. And you got to think the team that he struggled with was the team he probably should have been the most successful at. And that was Michigan. And we give him, as fans, a hard time because he left to go to Michigan. But yet, he snubbed Alabama, in which Nick Saban went to, and went on a tear for over a decade, dominated college football there. Would Rich Rod have done that? We don't know. Only time, we don't have this Magic 8 Ball wouldn't tell us, but only God knows. But Rich Rod went there. I think he won 44% of his games at Michigan. At West Virginia, won 70% of his games. Won 64% at Arizona. Jackson State, he won 60-something percent. I mean, he was very successful wherever he went, and we're blessed to have him back. I mean, he was one game away from playing in the national championship game. We all know that one. So it's great to see that he has been acknowledged as being one of the best coaches of the past 25 years. Okay. So let's just, it's great to have Rich Rod back. So last week we talked about him getting some heat. This week we're talking about him getting some. Okay, the heart, a little bit of love, right? A little bit of love. So, anywho, with that love, it's getting ready to get ready for the show today. And guess what pops up? 2 weeks ago, it's like people read my mind. 2 weeks ago, I talked about it on this show. The 2005 team, right? 2005 team. If they could somehow just kind of capture the 2005 team. And then, of course, 3 weeks ago, we talked about the uniforms and how I don't really dig the 66 or 65 uniforms. It should need to kind of have if you want to be nostalgic, you want to go 20 years back to 05, with the Steve SLATON and the Pat White uniforms. And that would be the 05 uniforms, right? So it popped up today, article by Josh Wolf. West Virginia to honor the 05 Sugar Bowl team during the Colorado game. And guess who they're going to trot out? And just the whole stadium, Mountaineer Field, and all of my postcard stadium is just going to stand up and cheer, and it's going to be great. Number 10. Steve SLATON. Guys, it's going to be wonderful. So, Varsity Club, in all its wisdom, decided finally we're going to celebrate this 05 Sugar Bowl team. I remember sitting in Iraq. I had a Sugar Bowl party in Iraq in a chow hall. And I got about 25 Mountaineer fans. General Broadwater, who since passed away, was there. Bunch of other West Virginia fans were there, and veterans, and we just sat there and we watched the game, and we had a wonderful time. And West Virginia University sent us swag. We got little pins, Sugar Bowl pins, and we passed them out. We watched the game, and it was a great time. And they're going to honor one of the most recent College Football Hall of Fame inductees, Steve SLATON. So, of course, it's going to take place during the Colorado game on November 8th. And this is the 20th anniversary of this team. And it's just ironic that Rich Rod is back. So that team started off 4-0. And it's, cross your fingers. You don't want to screw things up, Shane. But Mountaineers start off strong that year, and they could do it this year, start off 4-0. Now, in 05, they did lose against Vatech. Okay. But Virginia Tech, I think was, I'll have to look. I think they were they're top 5. Maybe they're 3. I'll have to look here. Yeah, they were 3. They were 3. 3 in the nation. So guys, you got to think. Then, everything changed in the 7th week. I remember that, guys. Bernardic went down with an injury against Louisville. Crazy. So Bernardic was a pocket passer, if you guys are too young to remember. Really strong arm, and a young, I think he was 18, maybe 19, Pat White came in. And it was the 4th quarter. West Virginia just did not have it. They were down 24-7, 24-7, I think. Louisville's top 20. And the Mountaineers managed to just start getting some steam behind Pat White. And then they kind of start believing. And all of a sudden, points start coming on the board. And they start catching up. And then it was overtime. And then another overtime. And then triple overtime. And they went on to win the last 4 games and won the Big East Championship. It was like some 30 for 30. It should be a 30 for 30 on ESPN. Absolutely. This should be a 30 for 30 on ESPN. And so then here's the thing that just blows my mind, guys. Hurricane Katrina came in. Okay. So the Sugar Bowl that usually is played in where? New Orleans. It's not played in New Orleans. It's played in Georgia. So, who do they have to play in Georgia? Well, they got to play the Georgia Bulldogs in Georgia. So it's like a home game. And of course, they start off 28-0. You see the memes. If they didn't have memes, they kind of had memes. You had a picture of a girl crying in like the first quarter. Rich Rod pulled it out 38-35 on the back of Steve SLATON. And he had 200 yards. It was great, guys. 3 touchdowns. You couldn't write this. This was just if it was scripted. And guys, you gotta love that story. And we're just gonna replay that. It's going to be on the it's going to be on the screen at Mountaineer Field on November 8th. We're going to watch it again, highlights. You're going to feel a little bit of that. Hopefully we can relive that season again through that. And hopefully it brought back a little bit of memories with me talking about that. But with that, guys, Tim Green, good to have you on here today. Steve definitely should have got the Heisman Trophy along with running. But yeah, absolutely, guys. So, went off a little bit, way down the rabbit hole there. Man, that's nostalgic. Pat White. And you still see, guys, you go to Mountaineer Field, you still see people rocking Pat White, Steve SLATON jerseys. Now they're rocking it on dad bods, and it's 2 sizes too small, but they're representing. God bless them. Okay. So we'll talk about the receiving room and how Rich Rod doesn't give love, spread the sugar too often. And he definitely did today. And man, did he shower some love. So right now, the Mountaineers are embracing, how can I say it? The pepperoni roll, coal slapping, moonshine sipping, PRT riding, the Mountaineer musket toting, you know, the way of the Mountaineers, just the way we roll, okay? So, and they're trying to embrace this well-oiled, rich rod, slick offense that he does, and the tempo and the hard edge intensity, running up to the ball between plays, just being greased, fast, everything's fast. So in order for this to be just a machine, you have to have guys that are extremely fast. So Rich Rod has said that he has guys at receiver that are super fast and athletic. And I'm going to quote him. He said, Cam is an athletic guy. And he's talking about Cam Vaughn. So Cam's an athletic guy. He was a high school quarterback, had a pretty good year for us last year. That's at Jackson State. It's at Jacksonville State. He still hasn't come close to reaching his ceiling. He's one of the fastest guys we've got. He can take hard coaching because we've been coaching him for a couple of years. He's had pretty good day today. This is what Rich Rod said. He said that today. Or yesterday, sorry. Now they expect Cam to be the X guy on the team. Now he also had a kid that they talked about from Jack State named Jared Bowie and Jordan McCants, and they're all also in the rotation to see some time. But he also went on to say that there's out of these three guys, I expect for me or us, they're a little bit higher because they know the system and how to operate, and they should take the next steps in their development this year. That's what Rodriguez said. So Rich Rod said that. So, he also stated that Grady Gallagher third and Oran Man Singleton playing in the slot. They'll all see the field. And Rich Rod went on to say, and he said this multiple times throughout the past week and last week, if he could break a record for playing the most guys, he would play these guys. That says a lot. That means he feels like he has some depth at some positions. Now, there is also a problem with they have the running back position. They're a little bit banged up. He went on to say that there's a bunch of guys that are banged up in the backfield, and they're getting a little bit thin back there. So with that, there's talk that there might be. We talked about getting a little bit retro. What's more retro than seeing a Divine jersey in the backfield? Not Noel, but his son. What do you think about that? Have you guys heard about that? Andre Divine, son of West Virginia star and current assistant coach Noel Divine. So this was during today's press conference. It was revealed that they're trying to bring him in late in as a late transfer portal. So I don't know how that would work. Now, he did play for Rich Rod before, so he knows the system. I'm sure his dad could catch him up if there's any changes. But Rich Rod went on to say that we're banged up. Jaheim is practicing. Hubbard, Andre Divine is a late addition off waiver wire. He might be joining us. We might have two, Dior Hubbard and Jaheim. Clay Ash got banged up, and Kenna Kazar got banged up. Knighton ain't eligible yet. We're waiting on him. Ty Edwards isn't on eligible yet, so we're actively looking in the portal. So that was a quote from Rich Rod. So how do you guys feel about all of this movement this late? I mean, really, that's just, it concerns me, but it kind of doesn't, because of the fact they're coming from a program that, Rich Rod coached at last year. But why didn't Rich Rod try to bring them along earlier if they were at the caliber that Rich Rod would want? I don't know. Like Florida A&M those were the caliber teams that were recruiting Andre Devine, Marshall, Jacksonville State. Is he a Big 12 player? I don't know. I don't know. I've seen a little bit of film on him, but not a whole lot. So it's to be determined, really to be determined there. Just so many moving pieces. But we will find out very shortly about the 4 players that have a suit. Edwards, we'll find out if he's going to play. Jamari Robinson, see if he's going to be playing. So, I don't know, guys. There's a lot of moving pieces, and it's reported on a lot. Mountaineer Paul, Locked On Big 12, like all those guys are reporting on this stuff. It's like beating a dead horse, but it's just, it gets to the point where it's just mind-boggling. As a fan, how do you follow this? I mean, I remember when I was a younger man, or if you're say you're a young fan, 12, 15, 8, how do you get vested in players? We used to go to the, blue and gold game in April, and you meet players and you develop a relationship and you have your favorite players and you watch them develop and grow. And now with NIL, they're mercenaries. But in today's day and age, it is what it is. And I sound like, back in my day. It's not like that. I'm sorry. So, what are your thoughts, guys? Do you really, really think that the Mountaineers are going to have to brush some of the dust off and get greased up and get things kind of rolling after the Robert Morris game, and maybe even kind of tweak some things during the Ohio game before Pitt? Or are they still trying to figure things out after week 3, after Pitt, before Big 12 play? What's going on? You tell me. I don't know, guys. It's looking rough. It's, but as a fan, I just cross my fingers, cross my toes, that when, we're 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away, and they're going to be blocking off the blue lot. We're going to be packing our cars for tailgating. Kids are going to be rolling in, and the stands are going to be filling up. The band's going to be playing. The players are going to be strapping up that tape. Because right now, high schools are a week in to conditioning. Heat week is almost over. High school bands are out playing. It's football. It's getting to be football weather. It was 58 last night. We're closer to fall than we are the 4th of July. It's getting to be that time. And you know what the time is? It's not 8:20. It's football time. So to close out the show, I'm going to talk a little bit about conference realignment. I know you guys hate it, but I love it. I love talking about the what ifs. I know. That's what got me excited about watching this show a couple years ago when Blue and Gold Dude used to do it. How excited he got. about who was coming in, who was going out, what was going to happen. Was West Virginia go to the SEC? I don't think. I hope not. Yes, it would be great for money. It would be great for the money. West Virginia would benefit financially from being in the SEC. Locked On Big 12 had a nice little teaser. West Virginia would be a great fit in the SEC. Baloney. I'll tell you this. 4 years. 3.5. Wait. You remember back to 2005 when things were so wonderful and West Virginia was winning the Big East, and the grass was greener, the old Milwaukee was colder, the moonshine was stronger, the pepperoni rolls didn't make you sick. Well, I'm going to tell you, those days are coming because of this. If the Big 12, Big 10, and the SEC go to over 20 teams, yes, old Milwaukee, make Milwaukee funny. If these conferences go to super conferences, and that means over 20, so instead of the Big 10, you have the Big 20. Instead of the Big 12, you have the Big 22. Instead of the SEC, you have the SEC 21 or 24. And the Big 12 gets Oregon State, Washington State, Virginia Tech, Louisville, Pitt. You have those regional rivalries again. Ooh, yeah. Yes. So BYU can play Oregon State. Washington State can play Colorado. Pitt can play Louisville, like they have been. West Virginia can play Louisville. West Virginia can play Virginia Tech. And West Virginia can play year in and year out the backyard brawl. Yes. Be patient. We can all wish and hope that this is what's going to come in 3 to 4 years when the ACC collapses. Because the Clemsons, the Florida States, the North Carolinas, Miamis, they're all going to go somewhere else, right? Whether it's the Big 10, the SEC, heck, Big 12 might go to Big 24. NC State might go to the Big 10, might go to, you don't know. But you have these regional rivalries, again, because you have like a conference within a conference, right? We can only dream. We can only dream. So, with that, saying that the Mountaineers will be playing Pitt, Virginia Tech, Louisville, year in, year out, along with Cincinnati, UCF, you got your core teams you're going to play in, year out. And then maybe 1 or 2 games out to the West Coast just for novelty. But you're going to have TCU and Baylor play every year. That's good for the Big 12, right? To finish things off, guys, is Patty Mack, beloved Mountaineer, YouTube sensation, WWE star. Did he grease the skids for the Mountaineers to host College Game Day for the third game of the season, which is, what is it? Yes, it's the backyard brawl, kids. It's the brawl, y'all. Ooh, get a little goosebumpy. Is it cold in here? Ooh, it's chilly. Yeah, the backyard brawl. 3:30 kickoff. Game day. ESPN. Right? Kids would be all rambunctious. The blue lot will be vibrating. Light blue lot will be vibrating. Jackson Johnson will be watching because game day will be in Morgantown. Well, we hope. We can only hope. That's what the rumbling is today in the news. And if there's enough rumbling, then usually it'll happen. I don't know. We can only hope. Guys, I want to hear from you. So, how big of a deal is it for when was the last time game day was in Morgantown? I can't remember. It's been a minute. I was at West Point, I think it was 2004, 2003, when game day was at the military academy. I was down, I think they were in Auburn or something years ago. And I think they were at Michigan State. I was up there. I don't think I've ever been in Morgantown for game day. I want to see that. I want to see that. That would be so exciting. Now, ticket check. The price of tickets are healthy. Interest is good in this season. Last year, it was. So, guys, if you haven't got your tickets, buy some tickets. Take your family. Robert Morris, you can get like a family 4-pack for a decent price. There's still tickets available. Because I'll tell you what, if Rich Rod and company start winning some games, you're going to be Grumpy Bear. You're going to have to pay out the nose. Pay out the nose for tickets. They're going to go be expensive. Yes, you're going to have to start getting OnlyFans or maybe start selling pet rocks or I don't know. I don't know what you're going to have to do. Somersaults, cartwheels. But tickets will go up. 20 years ago, back during that 05 season, now maybe it was 04, 05, down that time frame, I sold some of my season tickets because I was in Iraq for $200 a pop. Yes, not just for one game, for multiple games. Yeah, guys, that was 20 years ago. And we're looking for the Mountaineers to get back to that excitement level where people are willing to pay to see the Mountaineers play. That's the atmosphere. That's the brand. Now, are we at that level? No. But it's coming. It's coming down the pike. So, with that, thanks for tuning in for the call-in show. If you guys want to call in these last 3 minutes, hit me up in the chat section. Afton, thanks for tuning in. Jackson Johnson is an Alabama nut, and he has an Alabama channel. We won't hold that against him. Roll Tide. Every time, Roll Tide. You think they would have like some sort of joint venture with detergent? Like you would have like a section in Sam's Club that were just that nice dark red color with a big A on it, and then like a little liquid Tide pod that was that same color. Maybe Nick Saban going like that. I don't know. Oh, Afton, thank you. You're a sweetheart. Afton is a fantastic supporter of the channel and the Steelers Dynasty podcast, which last night we started to do some Gene stuff. Big 12 should, okay, Fiona Biscuit, the Big 12 should pick up the remnant of the Pac-12 and ACC, make 4 division of 6 or 7 teams, East, Central, Mountain, West teams play all teams in divisions, 1 team from each of all others. Absolutely. And Fiona, I think that it should have like a playoff at the end, and the conference championship and the runner-up get into the college football playoff. That is absolutely spot on. Yep, absolutely. Get the cream of the crop, because Corvallis is just like Morgantown. I hate to say it. You go out there, it's like, other than the weather's a little different, like the feel, it's just like Morgantown. Eugene isn't like Morgantown, but Corvallis is. Washington State doesn't feel like Morgantown, but Corvallis does. But Washington State has a great fan base. The Beavers are awesome. Good, they have a great stadium. Stadium was just redone a few years ago. But Stanford, all they care about at Stanford is their water polo team. Who gives 2 craps about Stanford? I don't. UCLA, we don't care about them, So Stanford can pound sand where, but the remaining Pac-12 teams, which are, Washington State, and if here's the thing, if you drive from Portland through Oregon up into Washington again and drive around like a circle, you won't see University of Washington Husky shit. You'll see Beavers, Ducks, and Washington State. That's what you'll see. Mostly Washington State. Yep. And if you go far enough into Idaho, you'll see Boise State. Swear, that's the way it is. Word. So that'd be a great ad. And then, of course, you have that regional, you have that region playing each other. If you get, now Virginia can go into, I don't care where they play. I can give 2 craps about Virginia. As West Virginia fans, do we care about Virginia? How many times have people come up to you and say, oh, I have a cousin that lives in Virginia? Roanoke? Newport News? That's not Beckley. That's not Bluefield. That's not Monaville or Parkersburg or Somersville. Give me a break, you dip. Anyways, so you got your core old Big East remnant schools, and then you got your old Big 8 schools. You're never going to lure Nebraska out of the Big Ten, even though they secretly want to go get the hell out of the Big Ten and go back to their roots, because that's what happened with Colorado, and they love it. Yeah, it gives exposure to the DC area, though. It does. It does. I would love to see, and this is not a basketball show, but we're talking a little basketball. I would love to see the Mountaineers playing Georgetown again. Right? Playing Georgetown again. Those were good games back in the 90s. But Louisville for basketball, big get, right? Louisville for basketball. Pitt for basketball. Virginia Tech, not so much. But guys, UCF is a huge school that came into the Big 12 a couple years ago. People were, but can you believe Memphis was snubbed with that $200 million? That was all sponsorship buy-in money. It wasn't like legit. So, yeah, I have an X account. I don't even remember getting it, but it's not a For the Fans account. That's old school. That was before that shit. So hit me up. So anyways, guys, yeah, that would give great exposure. But hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, UCLA is a crap hole. The fans don't care in LA, really. Other than they have, like, the colors are nice. They haven't been cool since Kareem played there back in the 60s, really. Or Bill Walton. But Afton, I'll see you on the next show. Yeah, we do a pop culture show here. We're going to pick the top 15 TV shows here at 9. But hey, guys, thanks again for tuning in to, guys, this is the West Virginia Mountaineer live call-in show here at the Voice of College Football. And I'll be here every Thursday at 8. And Monday, 9 o'clock sharp. Catch me. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the Mountaineers. And we're going to talk about depth. Are we going to see more of Nico and Jalen? Or are we just going to see Nico? I'll talk to you about that coming up. But with that, we're going to say good night and have a great evening.